we are going to start. All right, so for today, we're going to use standard props, 2 blocks, blanket, strap if you'd like. And we are going to start seated. So I'd like you to sit on something, whether it's a block, whether it's a blanket, um, whether it's your feet, just go ahead and have a comfortable seat. And then when you find your seat, take the opportunity, if you'd like, to remove any flesh from underneath your sit bones. And then rest the hands on top of the thighs, wherever feels comfortable for you. And then soften the gaze or close the eyes. And the first thing that you'll do as you settle in right now is I just want you to notice what you notice about the breath. I want you to notice what you notice about how the body is feeling. Notice what you notice in terms of thoughts that are entering and perhaps exiting the mind. And then notice what you notice about your breath. This week, I've been finding myself thinking a lot about resolutions, obviously, because it's been the new year. But I've been struck by this thing I heard from this guy. I think his name is Chris Williamson. He was on a podcast with Stephen Bartlett, and basically they were talking about New Year's resolutions. And the pivotal point of the 2.5 hour conversation that I found striking was this idea that in order to make an effective resolution, change, evolution, whatever you want to call it, you have to give something up. And so I've been thinking about that of like, how can I let something go? What in my life can I relinquish or surrender or just soften a bit so that I can welcome in the thing that I would like to receive? And so we're going to play with that theme today of like, where can you let go? Where can you soften? And just notice what opens up as a result of that. So to start this, let's go ahead and plant one hand on our heart and then plant the other hand right on top of it. And the first thing I want you to just notice is notice the warmth of your hands. Notice the weight and the pressure of your hands. Notice the movement of the ribs underneath your hands. Maybe you can feel the skin, maybe you don't. Notice if you can start to feel the movement of your lungs underneath your ribs. Notice if you can start to feel perhaps the beating of your own heart. And as you continue, good morning, Laura, to just breathe into your hands here, we'll start to bring our awareness a little bit wider. So notice if you can notice the full front dimensions of your rib cage, how they might expand and they soften as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Begin to see if you can make that a bit wider in your awareness so that you can feel the sides of the rib cage right to left. Good morning, Robin. And as you continue to just pay attention to the breath, notice if you can bring your awareness now to the back of your heart space. As you take these last 3 to 4 breaths here, I want you to see if you can breathe 3-dimensionally just into your heart. As you do that, just begin to notice what things have to soften in order for your awareness to remain connected to your heart. And notice what opens up as a result of you remaining connected to this movement around your heart. At the end of this next exhalation, draw your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Really press the palms into each other and feel the weight of the right hand resting into the left, weight of the left hand pressing into the right. And then keeping your index, or rather your thumbs and your pinky fingers glued, open your index fingers, your middle fingers, and your ring fingers away from each other to create what's called Lotus Mudra. And as you press the pinky fingers and the thumbs into each other, as you receive the weight of the thumbs into your sternum, we're going to invite What is that thing you would like to welcome into your life this year? And it's just going to fill your little goblet in front of you, your lotus mudra. And then just to stay with our theme that we're going to go with a little bit later, next exhale, your hands will turn away from you. You'll curl your fingertips down, backs of the hands come forward, your hands will circle forward, and you exhale and you let it all go. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. We're going to try that 2 more times because this will become a theme for the day. Inhale, open your arms or your fingers. Exhale, palms come forward, fingers swoop down, backs of hands come together, arms come forward. They open out. Inhale, arms sweep up and overhead. And last time, hands through heart center. As you inhale, open the fingers. Exhale, hands turn forward, circle the wrist, reach the hands forward, and then inhale, circle the arms out and up and overhead. Awesome. Let's go ahead and drop our right hand to the right, reach up through the left hand and take a happy baby side bend over to your right. And you're just going to pause and you're going to breathe. Where can you allow some tension to release along your left side body, maybe around your right shoulder? Next inhalation, come up through center. And then exhale, allow the left hand to drop. And then take a baby side bend over to the left. And again, notice where you can soften, where you can release. Maybe it's around the neck. Maybe it's around the fingers or the eyes or the jaw. Next inhale, come back up. Exhale back to the right 1 more time. And again, you just pause and you breathe. Where can you surrender a little bit? Where can you give more to the floor, more to gravity? Inhale, come back up. Exhale over to your left. Left hand touches, right arm reaches up and overhead. Nice work. Next inhalation, go ahead and come back up. This time as you exhale, we're going to drop our right hand behind us, our left hand to the top of our right knee. And then you'll inhale and sit tall through your spine. And then exhale, just think of hugging, letting go of the breath on that right side. So the right rib cage comes in or the right muscles come into the spine. You inhale and you lift a little taller through the vertebra. And then exhale again, emptying the belly on the right side. Next inhalation, come up, both arms up and overhead. And then exhale, we'll go to the other side. So left arm drops behind you, right hand on top of left knee. Inhale, lift up through your spine. And again, exhale, think of emptying everything on the left side, noticing how those organs can touch the spine. And you just pause and you breathe. Nice job. Inhale, come back up through center. 1 more each side. Exhale over to the right, right hand behind, left arm behind, or left hand in front. And you just take a couple of breaths. What do you notice happening in the back of your left shoulder blade? What's happening in your jaw? Next in breath, come up, arms high. Exhale back to the left last time. And you just pause and you breathe and you notice what you notice. Fantastic. Inhale, both arms swing up. As you exhale, hands come through heart center. Gently release the hands onto your thighs. And then inhale, you'll pull your heart and sternum forward and through, gaze looks up. And then exhale, start to round through your spine, tuck your chin to your chest. And you've just got about 4 to 5 more of these. And you're just paying attention as you inhale, extend the spine. And as you exhale and round the spine, just noticing what you notice as you move through the vertebra. And so the reason that this guy said we needed to let go of things is because he said we all only have 24 hours in any given day. And most of the time, his theory was that people fail at their resolutions because they don't give themselves the opportunity to actually invite something new in. They already have a full schedule, so realistically, the only way to attain certain goals is to let go of other things. Awesome. So we'll go ahead and come to a neutral spine. Go ahead and crawl yourselves forward onto your hands and your knees. And when you find yourselves forward onto hands and knees, make sure if you need them, your blocks are towards the upper outer corners of your mat. Your blanket, if you need to pad it under your knees, you pad it under your knees. And once you find yourself in your tabletop position, just take a few cats and cows first. And I encourage you to see if you can slow down just a little bit. Maybe we can let go of the need to rush, the worry about being late or taking too much time. Allow ourselves to fully just be in the experience and see what we discover as a result of that. Nice work. The next time you inhale, go ahead and stay there in that cow shape. Roll both sets of toes under, and then start to press your pelvis up and back to where the wall and the ceiling meets. And when you get there for today, let's keep your knees super duper bent. And imagining that for some reason you're a happy puppy, I want you to just shift your pelvis a little bit right and a little bit left. And again, pretty slow, so you can notice what's happening in your shoulder girdle. You can notice what's happening in your side waist. You might notice what's happening in the opposite heel. Fantastic. And once you feel complete with that, go ahead and come to stillness. Bend the knees quite a bit and start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Once you get to the back of your space, again, keep the knees as bent as you'd like. Separate the feet about hip distance. And then you might choose to just bend one knee and then the other, creating figure eights with your hips. You might find that you can let the head be a little bit heavier. And you're just paying attention. Where can you allow things to soften, to surrender, to let go? Another word that just came to mind is where can you trust a bit more that everything does not require your direct efforting in order for it to be accomplished. Awesome. Once you feel complete with whatever you're doing, go ahead and come to stillness. And then very gently shake your head no, very slowly. And then come to stillness after you've done that a few times and very gently bob your head yes. And again, very slow. Nice job. And then go ahead and come to stillness with that. And then you're going to bend your knees and roll up your spine, vertebra by vertebra, slow as you go, taking your time to come to stand. Awesome sauce. And then when you find yourself vertical, you'll just take a couple shoulder raises. So you'll inhale and shoulders come up, and exhale, they go down. And we're not circling, we're just going straight up and straight down. We're feeling what that feels like in the body. Last one. Next time your shoulders return to a neutral position, you'll draw your shoulder blades forward, then you'll draw your shoulder blades back. And you just take about 4 of those. And again, you're just pausing and you're breathing. You'll bring a slight bend into your legs. Okay. And then the next time your shoulders come forward, just make that a circle. So shoulders go forward, they come up, they go back, they go down. And you'll do 3 or 4 of those each direction. And again, notice what we might be allowing to just release, to dissipate, to let go, to soften, to surrender. Whichever word works best for you. Awesome sauce. This will be our last one. Cool. From here, let's go ahead and come to stillness and separate your feet a little wider than your hips. And then you're going to wrap opposite arm around opposite elbow. I do encourage you to bend your knees just a little bit. This will totally depend upon you and how your spine works. But we're going to take a little circle. So we're going to draw our elbows over to the right. Then our elbows are going to come forward in front of our feet just a little bit. Then they're going to go over to the left. And then they come up and over and back over to the right. Now, you're going to do that about 3 more times on your own. The back portion is really dependent upon what your back feels like. Mine is only going to go straight up for today. Yours might go a little bit further back if you'd like, but you're just paying attention. You're noticing what you can let go of. Maybe it's the striving. Maybe it's this need to make it look a particular way, or maybe it should feel a particular way. Whatever you would like to let go of, just notice. Awesome sauce. This should be our last one. And then after you've taken a total of four, going to your right, you'll come up through center and you'll pause, and then you'll go the other direction. And again, it's just four, and it can be as big or as small as you'd like. And we're just paying attention. How can we allow ourselves to trust that the more we can let go of, the more we can actually attain? One of the other things said in this podcast that I thought was kind of interesting was this idea of, a lot of us were sold on the idea that we can have it all. And he was like, you might be able to have it all, but you can't have it all at the same time. So sometimes you just have to notice where you might need to let go of something temporarily. Awesome sauce. Once you're even, you just come through center. Take a moment to allow the arms to just fall to the sides. Allow your feet to come back to a neutral position and just notice what you notice here. Great. And then we are going to move on. So starting from the crown of your head, start to roll down your spine, bone by bone by bone. Take more time than you think you can to get all the way back down to your feet. Nice job. Once you get down to your feet, you'll bend your knees and you'll slowly crawl yourself forward back to a downward facing dog. And just notice what it feels like to walk your hands forward. Awesome. Cool. Here's our not so sneaky core work. So let's go ahead and press to the balls of our feet, curl your tail forward to your head and come into a plank pose. Once you're in that plank pose, bend your knees and ripple from your pelvis all the way back up to that downward facing dog. You've got four of these. So you'll press to the balls of your feet, you'll roll through your spine, you'll come forward into plank, you'll bend your knees, and you'll shift your pelvis up and back, downward facing dog. And you've got four of these, and you're just paying attention. How does that feel in your body? How is the breath working with this? How are you allowing yourself to relinquish? Sometimes you might notice there's stiff muscles that don't want to do it. And how can you soften maybe the thought patterns, maybe the holding of the breath? Awesome. After you've done four that direction, do your best to mentally reverse that. So you'll bend your knees, you'll come back to the plank, you'll shift your weight back, unrolling your spine. As awkward as that seems, figure out how to get back, reversing it, or in dance, we call it retrograding. And just notice, what do you have to let go of in order to accomplish this weird thing? Cool. The next time you find yourself into plank pose, we're going to pause there. Awesome. So from plank, let's scoop our low belly up a little bit more. Hug our thighs. Yep, there you go, Barbara. And push down into your hands a lot. Nice work. Go ahead and lower just your knees. Lower just your chest. And then lower your chin to the mat. And you're going to take two complete breath cycles here in Ashtrakrasana. So your chin is touching, your chest is touching, your knees are touching. You're in this awkward 8 broken pose. And you just pause and you breathe for 2 breath cycles. After you've taken 2 complete breath cycles, you'll inhale and bring yourself into a cobra pose. So you'll slide forward, your legs will slide back, and you'll just take a breath there in cobra, and you notice what you notice. After 2 breath cycles here, exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale through hands and knees, and exhale back to downward facing dog. You just take a moment, you pause, and you breathe, and you experience what you might need to relinquish in this moment. This week I took the week off and it was amazing. I finally got to go take a full-length yoga class every day, and it was just I felt so great doing that. But the thing I noticed I had to let go of was this feeling of scarcity of time. I didn't feel like I had as much time as I normally operated under, and it was just kind of interesting to observe. All right, moving on. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. As you exhale, bend the knee, And open and stack the hip. And just notice what this feels like. Do you want to circle that ankle? Do you want to flex and point the foot? Do you want to bend and straighten the leg? What do you want to do? But you're just paying attention. Can we relinquish something here, even in this shape? Fantastic. As you're ready, draw the right foot back to meet the left, back to downward facing dog. Check in and notice the right side versus the left side. And then when you're ready, inhale, sweep the left leg up and back. Again, bend the knee, open and stack the hip. Maybe you circle the ankle, maybe you don't. Press down into your right hand a lot. So we're staying lifted in the right shoulder. Yep. And then when you're ready, go ahead and lower that left foot down to meet the right. Cool. Let's move on. Walk your feet together. Yep. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. As you exhale, draw the knee to the nose. Draw your right knee to your left elbow. Send your right foot to the left side of your mat. Put your foot down. Spin your left foot down, and then slowly peel your left arm up for this fallen warrior position. And you just pause and you breathe. Pause and you breathe. Nice work. Next exhale, left hand comes back to the mat. Step your right leg back to plank. Go back to downward facing dog. And just take a moment to pause and breathe. We'll try that on the other side just to see how it goes. Inhale, sweep your left leg up and back. Exhale, draw the knee to your nose. Cross your left knee to your right elbow. Send your left leg to the right side of your mat. Put the foot down and straighten the leg. Spin to the back of your right foot and then slowly peel your right arm up. Nice job. You just pause and you breathe. Awesome sauce. Gently lower the right hand down. Step the left foot back. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Oh, Sandy, I like that variation. All right, let's move on. Inhale, walk your feet together. And exhale, see if you can push your hands forward, down a little bit, your hips up and back. Next in-breath, sweep your right leg up and back. As you exhale, draw the knee to your nose. Softly plant that foot between your hands. Take a moment here to bring your hands to your blocks if that feels like that would be a good accommodation or a good assist. And then see if you can reach back through your left heel, forward through your crown, and maybe lift your inner left thigh just a smidge. Fantastic. Take 2 breaths here, just feeling the weight in your feet. On your next exhalation, lower the left knee to the mat. Pat it if you need to, and maybe you stay here with a nice gentle stretch going across the front of your left thigh. Maybe you walk both hands up the center of your right thigh, and you take a moment in this low lunge, and we just pause and we breathe. And some of you will stay right here, happy as clams. Some of you will think of lengthening your tailbone down, drawing your front ribs up and back, so you feel maybe even a more intense stretch on the front of your left quad. And some of you might reach your left arm forward and up, again, pulling those front ribs back, and happy to stay here, or maybe take a happy baby side bend up and over to your right. And again, you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're noticing what you notice. Nice work. Next inhalation, come back up through center. As you exhale, bring your hands to the mat. Lift the back knee up and away from the floor and step yourself back to plank pose. From there, bend the knees and lift your hips back to downward facing dog. Great work. Inhale, come forward into plank, rippling forward or just going directly there. Nice work. Exhale, lower your knees, lower your chest, lower your chin. Take 2 breath cycles here. So we're using this as a prep to get into our back bends. And so you just notice what you notice being in this awkward position. Next in-breath, guide yourself forward into cobra pose. Legs slide back, heart slides forward, head and chest lift. Oh, that looks good, guys. And then after 2 breath cycles, exhale, lower down. Your choice, inhale, hands and knees or plank. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. And you just take 3 breaths. You notice what you notice right here and right now. Sometimes we have to allow ourselves to let go of expectations we have of ourselves. Or better yet, expectations we might think others might have of us, which they probably don't. All right, let's move on. Walk your feet together. Inhale, sweep your left leg up and back. As you exhale, knee to nose, gently plant the foot between your hands. Fantastic. At this point, hands come to blocks or floor. And then just take a moment to really reach back through that right heel, press down through the left, lift through that inner right thigh, and reach your heart forward. Nice work. On your next exhale, soften the right knee to the mat. Happy to stay here, hands on blocks, fingers on floor, heart reaching forward. Or if you'd like, you might start to walk your hands up to the belly of your front thigh. And again, same action. So you're pushing down a front foot, pushing down a back knee, drawing those points together. Maybe you're thinking of lengthening the tailbone down, drawing your front ribs in and back. And you might stay there. You might reach your right arm forward and up. Again, happy to stay here, just working on the activations of the feet and the pelvis. Or maybe you take a happy little baby side bend over to your left. And again, just pausing and you're breathing and you're noticing what you notice. Nice work. Next in breath, go ahead and come up through center as you exhale, hands to the mat. Straighten the back leg long. Step your left foot to meet your right. Bend your knees and go back to your downward facing dog. Option to stay right here, or inhale, come forward into plank. Again, we're going to lower just our knees down. We're going to lower our chest down. We're going to lower our chin down. Take a breath cycle there. Take another breath cycle there. And then on your third inhale, you'll slide yourself forward into cobra and just notice what you notice. How is the spine? How's the neck? How are the legs? How are you? Exhale, lower all the way down. Curl the toes under, hands and knees or plank pose. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths. And really just notice what you notice about the breath. A lot of times, teachers like myself get caught up in technical stuff that we forget to remind you to breathe. That's the only important part, really. So just notice how that's going. All right. Next, in breath, press to the balls of your feet. As you exhale, bend your knees, empty your belly, step or float top of space. Awesome. Once you get to the top of your space, go ahead and separate your feet about hip distance apart. Again, gently shake your head no. Slow, gentle movement, no. And then bob your head, yes. Just notice what that feels like as that moves up and down the spine. Cool. And then go ahead and come to stillness. Inhale, slide your hands up your shins, halfway lift. And then exhale, fold back in. You've got 2 more just like that. And you can play with how high or low you come with this, but just notice the length that you're finding through the vertebra. You're starting to wake up the back muscles for what's coming next. So just notice what you notice. After you've done 3, you'll inhale and root to rise for Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. And then we'll exhale, hands through heart center. Okay. Just to stabilize our breath, we're going to work with that hand mudra again. So you'll inhale, open your fingers. Exhale, hands circle forward. Inhale, circle them out and up and overhead. And then exhale, hands back through heart center. Inhale, open the fingertips. Exhale, circle the palms. Inhale, sweep them out and up and overhead. And exhale back through heart center. One more time on your own. So you just notice. This allows you to start to reconnect the breath with the movement. And because I've added quite a bit of movement there, you have to slow down your breath to make all of it happen at once. All right, let's move on. Inhale, open the arms up, or open the hands. Exhale, take the circling of the wrists. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up and overhead. This time, As you exhale, you're going to fold forward at your hips. Uttanasana, hands tracing down the midline of your body to the floor. Nice job. Go ahead and inhale, halfway lift, hands to blocks or floor. And then as you exhale, just stay here just a bit. Next in breath, sweep your left leg back, so parallel to the floor. Blocks are a great opportunity to be used here. And just notice what you notice. Dial the outer left hip to the floor, lift through the inner left thigh. On your next exhale, bend your right knee, step the left toes long and back. Nice work. Fantastic. Reach down into your feet and then inhale, come up to high crescent lunge. Awesome stuff. And so we're just pausing. We've added a lot of stuff in very quickly and just notice what you notice. How's that working? How are you doing? Fantastic. Next exhale, hands are going to come through heart center and then bring the hands back down to the floor. Walk your hands onto your blocks, walk your blocks forward, shift your weight forward, lift your left leg back up. Awesome sauce. And then bend your knees and step your left foot to meet your right. Great. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, fold in. Inhale, root to rise, Urdhva Hastasana. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, we're going to repeat just that. So inhale, open the fingers. Exhale, circle the wrist. Inhale, the arms sweep out and up and overhead. And exhale, hands come through heart center. 2 more times, you're just doing the mudra of the arms. Inhale, open the fingers. Exhale, circle the wrists. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up and overhead. And exhale, hands come through heart center. Last time. Inhale, open the fingers. Exhale, circle the wrists. Inhale, open the arms. And exhale through heart center. This one will take us to forward fold. Inhale, open the fingers. Exhale, circle the wrists. Inhale, sweep the arms. And then exhale, hinge at the hips. Hands come through heart center, forward fold. Nice work. Once you're down, you'll inhale, put your hands on blocks or floor. You'll exhale and stay here for just a breath cycle. We're going to try the opposite leg now. So inhale, sweep your right leg back, parallel to the floor. Dial that outer right hip down. See if you can lift through the inner left thigh. And on your next exhale, bend your right knee and step the left toes long and back. Once you feel, right toes long and back. Once you feel stable there, you'll start to walk your hands back and you'll bring yourself up to a high crescent lunge. Great. We're just going to pause and we're going to breathe and we're going to notice what we notice. Fantastic. On your next exhale, hands come through heart center. And then hands come down to the floor, the blocks. Shift your weight forward. Float your right leg up. And then bend your knee and step the right foot next to the left. Fantastic. From there, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold in. Inhale, root to rise, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, heart, hands through heart center. We're just going to do one of these this time. Inhale, open the fingers. Exhale, circle the wrists. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. As you exhale, fold forward at your hips. Hands come through heart center. Nice work. From there, inhale, halfway lift. Hands on blocks or floor. As you exhale, stabilize here. Fantastic. Next in breath, reach your left leg back parallel to the floor. I would encourage you to have those hands on the blocks. The next time you exhale, you're going to tuck your left knee behind the back of your right knee for a Jiva squat. Yep, and inhale, send the foot back. You've got 4 of these. And you're just noticing we're starting to wake up those hamstrings, wake up those glutes, seeing how that feels. All right, I think we have one more. Awesome. The next time your leg is back, and make sure you straighten both of them. Then you'll go ahead and bend your right knee, step the left toes long and back, walk the blocks back if you're still using them, and then inhale, come up to high crescent lunge. Nice work. Yep, fantastic. And we just pause and we breathe and we notice what we notice. Next exhale, go ahead and bring your hands through heart center. Now we're going to shift our weight forward and take our left foot, or rather left knee forward. Bloop. Nice work. And we just pause and we balance for a moment. And then as you're ready, gently lower the foot down. Cool. Let's try that on the other side. Inhale, open your fingers. Exhale, circle the wrist. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. And then exhale, hinge forward at your hips. Forward fold. Nice work. Inhale, hands to blocks or floor. Exhale, stay here for just a moment. Next in breath, shift the opposite leg back, so it should be your right leg. Take a moment to pause here, and then as you exhale, you're going to do a Jiva squat, tucking the right knee behind the left ankle, and you've got 4 of these. And you're just pausing and you're breathing. And you're taking your time, saying, hi, hamstring, hi, quads. Glad these aren't piston squats. Awesome sauce. After you've done a total of 4, so we have 1 more. You'll go ahead and keep your right leg extended back. You'll start to bend your left knee, reach the right toes back, crawl those blocks back with you if you need to. Find the stability in the feet, and then inhale, come up for high crescent lunge. Nice work. And you just take a couple of breaths to stabilize. That was a lot. What do we need to let go of in order to accomplish that? Next exhale, hands come through heart center. You just take a moment to prepare. Shift your weight forward, right leg comes up. Yep, fantastic. And we'll gently release that leg down. Okay, let's move on. Inhale, open your fingers. Exhale, circle your wrist. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, hinge forward at your hips, coming through a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time as you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step yourself back to downward facing dog. From down dog, inhale, come forward into plank. Lower your knees, lower your chest, lower your chin. 2 breath cycles here. Just noticing what you notice. And then when you're ready, you'll inhale and slide yourself forwards into cobra. Notice how the back's feeling. Maybe hover the hands if you'd like. Exhale, lower down. Inhale through hands and knees or plank, and then make your way back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Just notice what you notice. What's that thing in your life that you've been trying to attain for a really long time? And maybe consider that the impediment is that we haven't let go of something. Could be fear, could be inhibition, could be worry, who knows? Could actually be something physical, but just notice what might we need to let go of to actually move forward. All right, let's move on. Inhale, raise to the balls of your feet. As you exhale, bend your knees, empty your belly, step or float, top of space. Nice job. Once you get there, separate your feet about hip distance apart. And then your choice. You can either roll up your spine or you can do a flat back up. You take your choice and you might find your way all the way up to stand. Nice work. Okay, let's move on. Before we do this, let's just ground our breath again. So hands to heart center. Inhale, open the fingers. Exhale, circle the wrist. Inhale, sweep the arms. And exhale, hands through heart center. You'll do that 2 more times at your own breath pace. And you're just noticing how you might need to maybe give yourself a little bit more freedom to just be with the movement. I think sometimes I find myself rushing because I don't think that I can really take the time. What if we allowed ourselves to indulge just a little bit and really to just take all the time we need? This will be your last one. This one, you'll find yourself folding forward into your forward fold. So you take your time. If you're moving at a different pace than anybody else, fantastic. If you're moving at the same pace as somebody else, fantastic. All right. All right. Once we find ourselves into our forward fold, we'll again bring our hands to our block. We'll inhale and we'll halfway lift. This time, as you exhale, see if you can draw your belly to support the spine a little bit more. Inhale, sweep your right leg back. As you exhale, bend your left knee, step the right toes back, spin the foot down, and find yourself up for Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. Nice job. And once you find yourself in your Warrior Two, so right foot all the way down, there we go. You'll take a couple of breaths here and you'll just notice what you notice. How can you surrender a little bit more weight into the front foot? Press into the back foot. Next in breath, you'll flip your front palm. You'll lower your right hand to touch your right thigh. You'll take a happy little reverse warrior and you'll see how that feels. Nice work. Inhale, come up through center. As you exhale, lower your left forearm to the top of your left thigh. Extend your right arm alongside your ears. And just notice what that feels like to be an extended side angle. Keep the Parsvakonasana, really opening across the collarbones, rooting through the feet. Inhale, you return to Warrior Two. As you exhale, right hand comes to right hip. Go ahead and straighten left leg long. Oops. Now from here, you're going to really shift your pelvis back to the right. Reach forward through your left hand and lower your left hand to a block, to a shin, to the floor, whatever feels appropriate for you. Again, push down through both feet, push down into your left hand, roll your left rib cage under, and maybe you reach your right arm up towards the sky. You just pause and you breathe, and you notice what you notice. Nice work. Next in breath, go ahead and draw your right hand to the floor, left hand stays on the floor, pivot to the ball of your back foot, and then step yourself back to downward facing dog. Option to stay right here in down dog or work with that Ashtandrasana or Ashtavrikrasana. I'm not saying it right. The 8-pointed figure, Ashtavrikrasana. Go through the shape. So you'll come forward, knees, chest, chin. Take a breath cycle there. Inhale into Cobra pose. And then make your way back to downward facing dog as you will. Ashtavrikras. Now I'm having a tongue-tied moment. I'll Google that in a minute. And you just take a moment and you pause and you breathe. And after you've taken about 3 to 5 breaths in your downward facing dog, you'll make your way to Uttanasana, forward fold. And again, you're just taking the way that seems appropriate for you. So some of you will take your wiggle walk, some of you will step there directly, some of you will hop. Some of you might just choose not to do that, but you'll just pay attention to how you wish to get there. Letting go of any expectation that it be different. And then when you're ready, you'll inhale, halfway lift. And you'll exhale and you'll fold in. And you'll do that 2 more times. And you just notice what you notice. How's the body? How's the breath? Awesome. And then this time we'll come all the way up to stand. So inhale, come all the way up. And again, hands come back through heart center. Last time, last set. Inhale, open your fingers. Exhale, circle the palms. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up and overhead. And then exhale, hinge forward at your hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your hands to blocks or floor. As you exhale, you'll shift your weight just a little bit. You'll float your right leg up. You'll bend your left knee. Sorry, up, other leg. Sorry, guys. Switch legs. Float your left leg up, right? You guys did the other one last time. Yeah, thank you, Sandy. Bend your right knee. Step your left toes back. And then spin the foot down and come up. Sorry, I looked at that and I was like, you guys are not doing what I think you should be doing. And that's because I told you the wrong thing. All right, I'm sorry about that. And then you'll just pause and you'll notice. Continue to bend into that front knee. Really push down into the back foot and see if you can extend out evenly through both arms. And just observe. How's that going? When you're ready, you'll flip your front palm. You'll lower your left hand to touch your left thigh and right arm will reach up and overhead. And you just pause and you breathe. When you're ready, you'll come up through center. You'll lower your right forearm onto the top of your right thigh and extend the left arm alongside your ears. You just take a couple of breaths here, finding extended side angle, seeing how that feels in the body. Next in breath, you'll return to warrior two. As you exhale, left hand comes to left hip, right leg will straighten. And then you'll go ahead and really tilt your pelvis back, reach your right arm forward, lower right hand to shin, to block, to floor, whatever works best for you. Again, push through your feet, lengthen through your spine, push through your right hand, and roll your chest open. And there you might then reach your left arm high. Nice work. Listen closely. Again, the gaze comes to the floor, left hand comes to the floor, pivot to the ball of your left foot, and step yourself back to downward facing dog. From down dog, you'll inhale and come forward into plank pose. Exhale, lower just your knees, lower your chest, lower your chin, pause for 2 breath cycles. And then inhale, pull yourself into cobra pose. Yep. Exhale, lower down. Go back to downward facing dog for 3 breaths. And then we're going to meet in a wide-legged child's pose. And when you go to your wide-legged child's pose, I do encourage you to make it your knees as wide as you want to, because then it allows you to stretch your adductors and the pelvic floor muscles at the same time. So if you do that, it's kind of more like a frog than a child's pose, but it's technically still a child's pose because your big toes are still touching. And it's just a nice little shape. And you just take a couple of breaths here. Asana, that's the name of it. Mm. Asana. Oh, sorry, that's really gonna kill me. Um, Ashtagandasana. No, that's not right. All right, let's go ahead and walk your hands back to your pelvis and then walk your spine up to sit. Cool. Walk your knees together if they went wide. Lower your forearms onto your mat. Take prayer or interlace your hands if you'd like. Round through your spine. Curl your toes under. Lift your pelvis up. I'm just going to find dolphin. You're only going to be here for 3 to 4 breaths. So you just stay here for a couple of breaths. And when you've had enough, you come down and you rest once again in child's pose. You know, look pretty stable there. Good job. All right. Do we have one more balancing pose in us or are we done? We got a thumbs up. Okay, cool. So from child's pose, let's make our way back to downward facing dog. Asana. I see. This is one of those things. I just gotta let it go. I can't remember the name of that shape. Um, great. From downward facing dog, inhale, press to the balls of your feet. As you exhale, bend your knees, empty your belly, step or float, top of space. Cool. Nice work. From there, let's go ahead and inhale, halfway lift. See if you can find the longest spine possible for you right here now. Yeah. And then, yep, exhale, fold all the way in. Inhale, root to rise, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. And then exhale, hands through heart center. Okay, I'm just going to take a moment to pause and take a moment to breathe here. While we're here, I really want you to press your sternum into your thumbs. Receive the weight of those thumbs into your sternum. Feel the connection from your feet to your legs. We're about to change that orientation in space. Next in breath, we're going to open our hands again because that's our sun salutation for the day. Exhale, circle sweep. Inhale, arms reach up, bend overhead. And then exhale, hinge forward at your hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. Awesome. Once you come down, inhale, hands on blocks, halfway lift. As you exhale, just take a moment to pause here. We're going to keep our right leg as our standing leg. So inhale, sweep your left leg back. As you exhale, bend your supporting leg, touch the left toes down. Inhale, come up to high crescent lunge. Fantastic. Great. As you exhale, open to warrior two. You're going to just open to warrior two. Hands might circle, they might not. You just notice what you notice. Go ahead and flip your front palm. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Yeah. Exhale, return to warrior two. Inhale here, draw your left hand to your left hip. Go ahead and straighten your right leg long. And then reach forward and out through the right hand, bringing hand to floor or block or shin, what works best for you. Take your gaze to the floor. Bend your supporting leg. Walk your front hand forward, shift your weight forward, and lift your left leg parallel to the floor. Half moon. Check in with that back foot. Is it active? Or can you stamp the right foot back, left foot back to the wall? Lift through that inner left thigh. Maybe you reach your left arm up. Maybe you don't. Maybe you take your gaze a little bit to the left and up. Maybe you don't. When you're ready to come down, gaze comes to the floor, left hand comes to the left hip. Bend the right knee, step the left toes back, and return to warrior two. Yeah, nice work. Take a moment to steady, steady, steady. And then as you're ready, go ahead and cartwheel the hands to the floor. Step yourself back to downward facing dog. Cycle through or not. It's your choice. And you just pause and you breathe. You notice what you notice. Were you able to let go of habitual ways of being, or did you feel the need to go back to them? There's no right or wrong ever. It's just an observation or a moment to observe, rather. As you're ready, let's go ahead and inhale, press to the balls of your feet. As you exhale, bend the knees, empty the belly, step or float, top of space. Nice. All right. Once you find yourself at the top of your space, again, inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, fold in. Let's do that one more time and see how straight you can make your spine. And by straight, I just mean long. There we go. And then exhale, fold in. Inhale, root to rise, Urdhva Hastasana. And then exhale, hands through heart center. Last time. Inhale, open your fingers. Exhale, circle the wrists. Inhale, swoop the arms up and overhead. And then exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Once you're down, inhale, halfway lift, hands to blocks or floor. Okay, we're going to keep our left leg as our standing leg. So as you're ready, you'll inhale and sweep your right leg back. As you exhale, bend your left knee, step the right toes to the mat. Once you found foundation, inhale, come up to stand, high crescent lunge. Take a moment to find yourself there. Next exhale, open to warrior two. Take a moment, find your setting there. Let the front palm, inhale, reverse your warrior. When you're ready, return back to warrior two. Draw your right hand to your right hip, straighten your left leg long, and then inhale, reach forward and down to the block, the floor, or the shin. And you just take a moment to pause and steady yourself. We're going to go to half moon. So you'll bring your gaze to the floor. You'll bend your left leg. You'll walk your left hand forward. You'll float your right leg parallel-ish to the floor. Keep flexing through that back foot. Yeah. And then if you feel stable, you might start to reach your right arm up. If you feel stable, you might take your gaze to the right and up. Yeah. And then when you're ready to come out, right hand comes back to right hip, gaze comes back to the floor. You bend your left knee, you step your right foot back, you return to warrior two. Yeah. You take a breath there. And then gently you'll cartwheel the hands to the floor. You'll step back to downward facing dog. Your choice, cycle through or not. And then we'll meet once again in child's pose. And again, your child's pose can be however you'd like. So it might feel really good to do that wide one again. You might want to take a more narrow one. You might want your arms back. You might want them forward. You might want the hands in the belly. You just take a couple of breaths wherever you are. Nice work. Okay, we're going to take dolphin one more time. When you're ready, you'll walk your spine up to vertical. Then you'll lower your forearms down onto your mat. You'll either interlace the hands or take prayer hands. Make sure elbows are underneath your shoulders. Then round through your torso, round through the spine, curl the toes under, lift your hips high. And you can walk your feet as close to your face as you wish. And you just take a couple of breaths. After you've taken 2 to 3 breaths, you'll rest in child's pose. That looks good, Erica. Keep your hips square when you do that, though. So if you push, yeah, so lift, yeah, more through your inner left thigh. So if you were to push off, you would knock yourself over. Yeah, there you go. And then when you're ready, you just take a couple of breaths in child's pose. From child's pose, you'll sit up and then make your way onto your back, heads facing the top of your space. Have your blocks, blanket, and strap somewhere nearby if you would like them. When you find yourself on your back, just be still for a moment. Okay. And then if your legs are straight, bend your knees, plant your feet firmly on the floor. Bring your hands alongside your hips. From here, you're just going to push down into your feet, lift your hips, and find Setu Bandha bridge pose. And you play with where you want your arms. Do you want to walk the shoulder blades underneath you? Do you want to grab the outer edges of your mat? Do you want to robot your arms? Do you want to interlace your hands underneath you? Do you want to hold your sacrum? Any of these is okay. We're paying attention to now how the breath feels in the body, how you can push down into the center of your heels, what that does to the backs of the glutes, how you can lift the hips, lift the heart. Once you feel stable there, I want you to just breathe into the front of your heart, the sides of your heart, and the back of your heart. Take 2 more breath cycles here. And then when you're ready, you'll come down. Okay. From here, just draw your right knee into your chest, interlace your hands at the back of your right thigh. Now, holding onto the back of your right thigh, I want you to kick your thigh away from you. So you really push your thigh away from you. Your arms are going to straighten. Your knee is still going to be bent. It's going to be like the top of your thigh is trying to find a perpendicular angle to the floor. So you're really pushing that away. Now that's happening with your right leg. Reach your left leg long on the floor beneath you, but don't let it touch. See if you can push out through that left leg a lot. And then some of you will straighten your right leg too. And you'll just take a couple of breaths here. That's a lot of activation. Left leg super active, right leg is super active. We are pausing, we are breathing, we are seeing what we see. And then gently, you're going to bend your left knee, put the foot back on the floor. Bend the right knee, put the foot on the floor. Pause and notice if you notice anything between the right side and the left side, in particular in your pelvis. All right, let's try the other side. So interlace your hands at the back of your left thigh. Really kick that thigh away from you. So you're using as much effort as you can, kicking that thigh away from you. Knee stays pretty bent. And then you're going to extend the right leg along the floor beneath you. Again, you're kicking out through that foot. The foot is flexed, the leg is active. You're feeling both halves of your pelvis work quite a bit. Some of you will stay here with the left leg bent. Some of you will straighten that left leg up. But again, you're reaching out through both feet, and you're pausing and you're breathing as that right leg is hovering off the floor. And then when you're ready, you'll bend the right knee, you'll put the right foot on the floor, you'll bend the left knee, you'll put the left foot on the floor. You'll take a moment to notice what you notice between the sides. Okay. From here, let's go ahead and grab one of our blocks. And you can put it on whatever setting you want, but you're going to put it in between your inner thighs. And so if you find the narrow position, you're like, that doesn't work because you can't feel the resistance, just make it wider. And what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze that block for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Release the block. Notice if you notice anything happening in your sacrum area. If that felt super fantastic to you, you can do that again. We'll do this last set. And if you're like, I don't want to do that, you can just rest. All right, so last set. So 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Go ahead and release that. And when you take it out this time, go ahead and separate your feet outer hip distance apart. Let your knees fall into each other, and some of you will stay right here. Some of you will choose to let both legs fall over to your left. And as the legs fall over to the left, you might open the arms out into a T shape. Some of you will stay exactly as you are. Some of you might choose to cross your left ankle over your right thigh, right knee. But again, notice where we can soften a bit. Karina Benner, she says this often in her classes. She says, you don't want to do anything today that will keep you from practicing tomorrow. So just notice how that shows up from time to time. If you cross the ankle, gently release it. Inhale, draw the legs back up through center. Let the legs just settle for a moment and then try the other side. And as they go to the right this time, again, notice, do you want to just keep the feet as they are? Do you want to cross the right ankle over the top of the left thigh? Just pause and you breathe. Nice work. You've got two more breath cycles here. And then at the end of this next exhalation, go ahead and come up through center. Take a moment to notice if there's any final shape or shape you would like to try. And then if you're complete, you'll make your way to Shavasana. If there's something you want to explore en route, you'll go there. And then you'll eventually meet in Shavasana. But you just notice what you notice. Notice what you notice. For those of you that are still working, if you're doing something asymmetrical, I do encourage you to visit both sides. Those of you that are making your way to your final resting pose, I do encourage you to set yourself up in the most wonderful position you can possibly put yourself in for right now. So if that means you have supportive blocks, of blankets, of pillows, if you've covered your body with clothing or blankets, whatever works best for you. Okay. And then once you feel sorted, we're going to essentially end the way we began. So the first thing I want you to bring your awareness to is just notice your rib cage. I want you to notice the rib cage in the back this time. I want you to notice your heart resting into the support of the lungs. Notice the lungs resting into the support of the ribs. Notice that as you breathe into the back of your body, behind the heart space, you can feel the expansion of the ribs. You'll notice that as the more you pay attention to this center, it sort of feels like it moves wide and then it wraps around the front. And so for the next few series of breaths, I want you to just really breathe into the back. Breathing into that part that we cannot fully see. Breathing into that part that, according to Susan McConnell, is one of the first parts that forms when we're in utero. She says our skin forms first, and this is the central nervous system channel, essentially. It's what connects us to our mom. It's what creates our boundary of self and other. And it's kind of amazing that it kind of is the most connected part to us. Heart, gut, brain. We'll go ahead and take the next few moments, next few breaths, just to breathe into that connection of the heart and how it extends out. And I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Return your awareness to your breath. As you come back to your breath, just take a moment to check in. Notice if there's any part of you longing to linger in this shape. And if there is, by all means, stay here. Relinquish any mm, worry that you need to be somewhere else. Those that are in stillness again, stay as long as you like. Those that feel movement calling them, allow it to re-enter into your form in whatever way feels nurturing to you. Again, those in movement, you'll start to make your way to your right side. You'll pause there for a couple of breaths. Once you've taken a couple of breaths on your right side, you'll roll your chest more to the floor, press into your left hand, and draw yourself up to sit. When you are vertical, again, sit on something, whether it's a block, a blanket, a pillow, your feet. Take the opportunity to sit well by removing any flesh that you'd like. Circle the shoulders if you'd like, circle the neck if you'd like. Go ahead and come to stillness. Bring one hand to rest on heart. Draw the other hand to rest on the heart. And again, just notice the weight of the hands. Notice the movement underneath the hands. Each of us in our own unique way are fantastic human beings. The Bhagavad Gita tells us that it is best to do our own dharma, however imperfectly, than it is to try to do someone else's. And connecting that to the theme of today, sometimes means we have to let go of doing another dharma and just doing our own. And to do that requires that we listen to this energy source behind our hands. It will never lead us astray the more that we tune into that. And so as we complete our practice, starting this new year, we want to know what things we can relinquish, we can soften, we can let go of, so we can step more fully into that being, that one precious gift that each and every one of us uniquely is and has to offer. We'll go ahead and complete our practice with a collective breath, followed by a collective Om. Bring your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Really press the palms into each other. Receive the weight of the thumbs into your sternum and lift the sternum into your thumbs. Gently exhale all the breath from your mouth. Take a big breath in. Audible breath out. Inhale for Om. Join if you'd like. Draw your thumbs to your third eye. May our thoughts be clear. Draw your thumbs to your lips. May our words be kind. And draw your thumbs to your heart center. May our hearts be open. The light, the breath, the awareness within me honors and salutes the light, the breath, the awareness within each of you. Namaste.